Hi, I'm Catherine Griffiths. Welcome to another segment of Cooking with Insightful Nana. Today we're going to be cooking sticky caramel corn. This is a recipe that has been in our family for over 40 years. First you'll need a popcorn popper. This is an oil popper. We've had this in our family for a long time, obviously, but it works and it's a good popper. It works a little better than the air poppers. The air poppers don't pop the corn quite as well as an oil popper. You will need a large bowl to put your corn in. I have this little gadget here that's been real handy, and that you can shake it and the kernels of your popcorn fall down in there and you can empty them out. But if you don't have one of those, just shake your bowl real good so the kernels go to the bottom, empty your popcorn out, get rid of your kernels, and then you put your popcorn back in. You'll need some mixing tools, some tools to toss your popcorn and to use at the stove. I like Rickenbacker's popcorn the best. This seems to pop the largest. It has the largest kernels. It works real good. This is a 2-quart measure. It's just a pitcher that I use to measure the popcorn. You will be using 6 quarts of popcorn if you want to have the sticky popcorn. If you want to extend it just a little bit, then you'll use 7 to 8 quarts of popcorn. We'll be using the brown sugar. We'll use 2½ cups of brown sugar, and that's exactly half a bag. I usually just don't measure it, I just use a half a bag. We'll be using the corn syrup, and you'll be using 1 cup of corn syrup. Make sure that you use a liquid measure and not a solid measure. Then we'll be using 1 can of condensed milk and 1 square of butter. That is the ingredients that we'll be using to make our caramel corn. Okay, now we have all of our ingredients in the pan. You don't have to put them in one at a time. You can put them all in at the same time. And then you can come in and turn up your heat. I'm going to turn my heat up quite high because of the type of stove that I have. So you just need to adapt it to the type of stove. But you can kind of heat it up a little bit at the first until this starts to melt. But the secret of this is to get it stirred up, and then you continue to stir this. It's very important that you not leave this while it is cooking because it will scorch on the bottom. Okay, I've been stirring this for approximately 5 to 6 minutes. It's just getting ready to come to a full boiling boil, but I'm stirring it constantly, and you will need to continue to stir it constantly. You can just see it starting to bubble a little bit, but it needs to come to a full rolling boil before you begin to time it for its 5 minutes. Okay, it's just about there. A rolling boil is one that you cannot stir down. Now it's important here that when it starts to boil that you cook it for only 5 minutes. If you overcook it, it has a tendency, like many candies, to go to sugar, and you don't want it to turn to sugar. Okay, it's really a rolling boil now, and so we're going to turn our heat way down because this will start to pop, and we're going to time it for 5 minutes. It's important now that I continue to stir. I've got my heat down, but it still needs to boil. Also, it's important that you only do one recipe at a time. It's like candy. It's not good to double the recipe. Now I've got my heat way down, but it still has a tendency to pop on my stove, so you just turn it down so it doesn't pop. But we're going to continue to stir this for 5 minutes. This is so it will not scorch and burn. Okay, this is what our the caramel looks like before we pour it onto our corn, and it has cooked for only 5 minutes after it started to boil. That's important. So we're going to start to pour some of this on top of our corn. Not everything all at one time because we want a little opportunity to toss it. Now you can see this has got 2 pitchers of corn in it. And this is how much I filled my pitcher. This is the last 2 quarts. So I can just toss this. And it helps to begin to coat it. Okay, pour a little bit more caramel on. I think some of the tips that we can remind you of right now is that once you bring it to a boil, you only cook it for 5 minutes. And it is important to stir it the entire time that it is cooking. That way that it doesn't scorch. We'll add the rest of our corn and the rest of our caramel. Give it this last toss. See how glossy that is? It stays nice and glossy. Now this will coat it to where it's quite sticky. If you care to not have it quite so sticky and covered, remember that you can add another quart or 2 to your particular liking. Our family likes it to be real sticky, and so this is this final recipe. Okay. It's a little hot right now to serve, so you can wait for it to cool, and then you can put it in your bowl to serve. This is our finished product. It's our sticky popcorn. It's very soft and pliable and very delicious. Thank you for joining me for this edition of Cooking with Insightful Nana. Until next time, thank you.